Hello. So what I'd like to show you today is how to have multiple boxes in space and how to determine which ones are in front of the other one. This can be a little tricky when you start building your boxes for your Dreamscape because it's sometimes difficult to figure out at first glance which box is going to overlap the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a series of 3 boxes. The construction of this is the same as the boxes we've done so far. So from your main perpendicular, you're going to have the box connect to one vanishing point and to another vanishing point on the right. So if you could build this along with me. We're going to build 3 boxes and then kind of make our decisions which one's actually in front of the other one. So here's our box number 1. Erase the extra lines. Okay. If you could try to build these boxes in the same position as I've got, that would be helpful. Right, so I'm going to do a second box now that's overlapping the other box on purpose. Okay, so we can kind of determine which one should actually be overlapping which. So this second box that I'm building here is deliberately overlapping the first one. Right over here. Just a standard box. Once you work into your final work, you can do more creative things with this. And let me do a third one. That goes back in space. That's still a large one, so it goes over a fair distance, so we can still have the 3 of them overlapping each other. There we go. So finish up the top here. Close off the back edge of this box, so again it's overlapping this box here. Just like so. I'm going to erase my extra lines. For each of my boxes. Just like that. Now, what we kind of have to determine is which one of these 3 boxes is actually in front. So what we have to imagine is where the box actually sits on the ground, all right, to determine the footprint for each of these 3 boxes. So one of the ways to figure this out is to decide and determine which boxes sit on the ground at the front edge and which boxes sit at the back edge here. Okay, so how far back in space they go, because the general rule is the lower down they are on the horizon line, the closer they are to us. The ones that are further back are further back in space. So between these 2, you've got this one that's closer to us, this one that is further back. It's a fairly easy decision to determine that indeed this one is the one that is closest to us. So that means that this box should overlap the second box. So I'm going to erase that. And I'm actually going to erase our details of our glass box because I would like our glass to be opaque. So this one overlaps this one. Now, this one is a little trickier, right? Because on the face of it, it looks like this one should overlap in front of this one because the front edge is lower, but it does tuck in behind, and the back of this box is further behind this box. So if you take into account the whole footprint of that box, it would seem that this one starts behind and juts further forward. So using that information, we're going to erase that one going back in space. Now, to enhance your 3D feeling for your boxes, another thing you can do to help that is, as you're doing your boxes going back in space, try to remember that the closer you get to the horizon line, the smaller the boxes are going to be. So if I start to build some other boxes further back, like that, notice how this box looks like it's further away because it's smaller and it's closer to the horizon line than the ones down here. So the ones that are really close on the horizon, adding some really tiny boxes on the horizon line. Just like this. You'll notice because it's so close to the horizon line, we barely see the top. Going back in space towards the horizon line, that is what really gives a sense of depth. So you've got overlapping here and relative size are two techniques that you're going to use in order to get 3D in your drawing. All right, hope that helps.